Heard of one of those.
It's a button. Just push this button and hold it for a couple of seconds. When that light's on,
Excellent.
the wires that go through it, it heats you right up.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I want to welcome everyone to the 2026 January meeting of the Madison Historic District Board of Review, held on February 2nd because of a schedule conflict that we had. Brenna, could we have a roll call, please?
Chris Cody,
Present.
Happy Smith, Bill Jewell,
Present.
Ken McWilliams, Ryan Rogers,
Present.
Jared Anderson,
Present.
Jed Skillman.
Present.
Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of last month's meeting? Any changes, additions, subtractions, anything? Do I hear a motion to approve?
I move we approve the minutes.
Do we hear a second?
I second that.
A vote, please.
Chris Cody,
Approve.
Happy Smith, Bill Jewell,
Approve.
Ken McWilliams, absent. Ryan Rogers,
Approve.
Jared Anderson,
Approve.
Jed Skillman.
Approve.
All right. Next item is elections for this coming year. I would like to nominate Chris Cody for chairperson.
I second that.
Could we have a vote, please?
1 second. Okay. Chris Cody,
Abstain.
Happy Smith, Bill Jewell,
Approve.
Ryan Rogers,
Approve.
Jared Anderson,
Approve.
Jed Skillman.
Approve.
All right. Next, we have to elect a new vice chairman. Do I hear a nomination?
I nominate Bill Jewell for vice chairman.
I second that.
Do we have a vote, please?
Chris Cody,
Approve.
Happy Smith, Bill Jewell,
Approve.
Ryan Rogers,
Approve.
Jared Anderson,
Approve.
Jed Skillman.
Approve.
All right. Tonight, I'm going to go ahead and run the meeting. We'll start next month with Chris at the helm here. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, we'll run the meeting tonight by having either the owner or their rep, or both if you'd like, come up to the podium, adjust the microphone so we can hear you really well, and tell us your name and where you live. At that point, Brenna will then review the project that's been presented to the city for consideration. The owner or rep will have a chance to either elaborate or something on whatever they would like to say on their application. At that time, board members will also have a chance to ask questions of clarification with the folks that are presenting. At that point, I will ask if there is any kind of input from the general public, and I'll ask if there's been any written information that's been forwarded to the city that we would want to read into the minutes. And at that point, we will be doing what is called findings of facts, where we're trying to determine, does the project fit in with our guidelines that we've been presented with. So I think we're about ready here. Looks to me like Tom McPherson, the first one, has been withdrawn. Annette Fultz. Annette, are you here? Not here, then I think we're going to table that one. Can we have a motion to table?
I think we can leave that on the table, right?
You want to leave that on
It's
for
already
now?
been tabled.
Okay.
It's already been tabled.
Okay.
If it doesn't come off, it's still there.
Okay. And 1229, I understand, is not going to be done tonight here either. So we go to our very first one here, which will be James Grant. James Grant, 887 Vine Street. Hello, thank you for coming.
Hello, you're welcome. A minor correction I saw associated with my name was 421 Mill Street. My address is actually 410 Mill Street. But
Okay.
in 1949, the gentleman that built my home lived at 421,
All righty.
I think Main Street, if I remember.
Brenda,
Shaky
could
Canola.
you review the project, please?
Yes.
But my address is 410 Mill.
Okay. So this project, it is zoned Central Business District, 887 Vine Street, and the request is to place an approved manufactured home on a permanent foundation. The wheels, axle, and toe will be removed.
Would you like to tell us a little more about your project? Tell us what excites you about it, how it fits in?
The project, actually, it's a double lot that's just before you enter Springdale Cemetery. There's a short portion of Vine Street. There's two other residents on that street, and this lot has been sitting empty for a while. I looked at it actually 25 years ago, and it's been either in an estate or some legal changes. But the people that did buy it ended up buying a home further on West 3rd Street, and they put it up for sale. So when I found that out, I talked with them and bought that property. I was considering a stick-built home on it, but the builder that I would prefer to use can't get to me for a year and a half, and then the building of it then would be a longer period of time. So somebody suggested that I look at a manufactured home, and I was familiar with Baird homes up on Clifty Drive, so I went up and looked at that choice, and I was impressed. I looked at the building standards. They're all HUD approved. The list is very good, and so I pursued that avenue. Looked at it, found a 2026 model that was on the lot. The gentleman got authority to sell it in 2025, so I started the procedure to do a manufactured home. The words that I like to choose after reading the manual that I reviewed from the city, and then in looking at the neighborhood, it is neighborhood appropriate, as there's a number of manufactured homes around it, by it, next to it, across from it, and nearby. And that's about my quickest review of why I'd like to do it.
I understand that Brian Shaw has given an okay on this building. Board members.
I might add that Brian he's familiar with the list of the HUD approvals as to how it's made, and he said he likes it a lot. He's in agreement with it.
Anybody?
Well, I have to say, I'd like to see fewer manufactured homes in the historic district, not more. But I don't see that I have an objection because there's others around here. But my personal view on it is historic district is not a place for manufactured housing.
And I might,
basically
in
my
review, I don't think it's in the historic district, if I'm correct.
It is in the historic district. It is just zoned Central Business District, but it is part of the broader historic district.
It's about a street or two away from, but I would appreciate too that anything below the hill is historic district to me. And that's, I said, the term that I've gotten to use mostly in the last few months is neighborhood appropriate, as that the others are.
Can't fight that.
Anyone else? Board members, anything? Is there anyone from the general public that would like to speak?
He rarely gives up the podium.
You look
Mike
familiar.
Pittman, 420 Elm Street. I'm really pleased that Jim has taken the leap of faith to develop a lot in that area. I started off on the historic board back in 2010, I think it was. I mean, had off and on since then, but I can really say I'm very pleased he's taken the challenge to invest and build something there. So I think I know it's a manufactured home, but it's a very nice one from what I've seen. And He lives now on Mill Street and has been an asset to the community, so I would certainly hope you recommend and approve his application. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Anybody else would like to speak? Have we had anything forwarded to the city to read into the record? No? What do we think here? Jared, what do you think?
I guess my one concern initially was that there's no renderings of what the property looks like. There's just a statement that says it's going to look like all the other properties. But I went to the website of Bayard, and I think I found what, I think I found the model of home. I just,
Yes, sir, that is it.
okay. I just wanted to be sure, and this is, I think we would certainly approve
And
this.
and I did submit photos of the unit, that unit, interior, exterior, side,
Sure.
and also different shots from Springdale Cemetery, the views around the neighborhood.
Okay. Yeah, see, I think I just saw the floor plan for the property. I
I
don't
think the other pictures might have been included in the building permit part of it,
Okay.
so that might be why.
But no, that was my one concern with the application,
Sure.
but I,
And I do have those with me if you wanted to,
No,
even
no,
after we're going to look at them.
no, I went ahead and found it, and I think this is certainly something we would approve, so.
Jared, could we show that picture to other board members here? Thank you. Down.
I think that's about as good as manufactured homes can possibly be. Well done, sir.
Thank you. Thanks.
Also, thank you for investing in this part of our city.
My pleasure.
All right, sounds to me like we got pretty much a consensus. Do I hear a motion to accept?
Do we need, I guess the original motion, we say findings of fact, but since we don't do that anymore, do we just, I move to approve? Okay, just wanting to be sure. So I move that we approve Mr. Grant's application for 887 Vine Street. Yeah.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
A roll call, I'm sorry, a vote, please.
Chris Cody,
Approve.
Happy Smith. Bill Jewell,
Approve.
Ryan Rogers,
Approve.
Jared Anderson,
Approve.
Jed Skillman.
Approve.
You've passed, you may pick your paperwork up from the city and start your project as soon as all your building permits are in place.
I can shovel the snow out.
Well, yeah, pardon us if we don't come help you on that one.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Okay, looks like the next one here, we have Karen Harrell, 424? Yeah, 424 East Street.
Hi,
Hello,
I'm Karen
thank you for coming.
Harrell. The house, I live in Hanover. The house we bought is 424 East Street
Mhm.
downtown. It's a small, built, and there's all different things saying when it was built. My deed says 1958. I saw in here it says 1965. So I'm not quite sure when it was built. It's a mid-century house. I want to keep it that way. The windows I want to place are exactly the same windows. I had to go with another company because I want the sliders. I want it to look just like it did before. They are vinyl windows now. It's aluminum, and they're very poorly built, the
Okay.
windows.
Brent, I'm sorry, I skipped you on that one. You should have been the one
That's okay.
relaying that, excuse me.
That's
Go
okay. 424 East Street is a non-contributing structure. According to the survey that we have, it was built in 1965. Very well might have been before that. It is zoned Historic District Residential, and the request is to replace the aluminum sliding windows with vinyl sliding windows.
Any questions from board members? Anybody? No questions? Anyone from the general public like to speak?
I'm having a hard time hearing anything you say.
I'm sorry, anyone from the general public would like to speak? No? Any correspondence to the city?
I've sent, filled out my application. I gave them copies of the windows. They're all exactly the same side, slide the same way. They're exactly the same windows, just made out of vinyl siding or vinyl instead of metal.
Okay.
Yeah, my vinyl clad windows.
Are they vinyl clad or solid vinyl?
Well, I'm getting from him, so he knows. Now, I want to keep it to look the same way it does now. I'm not going to change anything on the
Okay.
outside. I'm keeping all the original doors, woodwork, everything, all the original floors, everything I can. I appreciate the style that it is. There's 2 other houses like my house on that street. And I just think, but I need new windows desperately. Their windows are, I can't lock half of them they're just in very bad repair.
Well, my only objection to this application is I think that this should be a contributing building to our historic district because you have a lovely little mid-century modern house that has so many character-defining features of that style, and I'm so grateful that you're keeping these windows as they are. As time progresses, our National Historic Landmark District is based upon the diversity of American architectural styles that we have, and it's becoming increasingly important for us to save these and to treat them well as you propose to do here. So thank you.
They will be historic.
I appreciate the style quite a bit. I fell in love with the house as soon as I walked in. It has built-in bookcases, little built-in cabinets. The window seals are all marble, which I really liked. When I spoke with Clinton about the windows, he said the windows are in bad repair and there's going to be it's going to take quite a bit of work to replace them, but they have to be done. I can't. The house is just ruined with those windows right now, but I'm going to keep the roof the same, not going to change anything, hopefully keep all the doors and repair them and
Good.
keep it like it is.
Good deal. Anyone else like to speak? Anyone from the public like to speak on this one? Correspondence to the city? What do you think here? Sounds to me like we have a positive thing here.
I'll make a motion that we approve the application.
I'd second it. We have a vote, please.
Chris Cody,
Approve.
Happy Smith, Bill Jewell,
Approve.
Brian Rogers,
Approve.
Jared Anderson,
Approve.
Jed Skillman.
Approve.
All right. Sounds like you can pick your paperwork up from the city. As soon as you have your building permits in hand, you can start.
Order those windows tomorrow.
Order them tomorrow and tell them to use sharp saw blades. They're hard to come out. They go in easier than coming out.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, I thank you too. Put up with it.
We hadn't even really planned on doing the windows, and when I went in, I noticed I can't lock any of them.
Ooh.
There's holes gapping, it's no storm windows, they're just old windows, and they weren't a good window probably when they were put in, truthfully, so.
It sounds like you've made a wise decision.
It would be cute when I get done.
Good deal. Good.
The
We
best
look
decision
forward to seeing
you made was to keep Rocky on the sidelines.
I'm the mouth.
Thank you very much for coming.
We had to go with a different manufacturer for the windows because I wanted the sliders, so it took a while to find those. But I thought that was half the charm of the house with the windows. We're going with as narrow as we can, and I'm excited.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Looks like the next one is Orban Ash at 608 West 3rd Street. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Orban Ash. I live at 610 West 3rd Street.
All righty. Brenna, could you review the project, please?
Yes, so originally, this was one lot. So that lot was 608 West 3rd Street with a contributing 1890 Queen Anne style house on the lot, zoned Historic District Residential. The request is to build a 20 by 30 foot pole barn. The way it is now, those lots have been divided. So it is now on the back side, the
611
611
Presbyterian.
Presbyterian, that side with the log cabin is where it is located.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So one of the problems we had at first was that 608, which was the picture that was up here, was in pretty bad condition, and the city did not want to add another structure to a building that was considered vacant, which really wasn't vacant. But anyway, I had that moved back, and now it's part of the other piece of property that I own right in back of my house, which is 610, and it's 611 Presbyterian. So those are all one lot now. So we got one lot combined with 611, so it's all one piece of property. Okay? All right, now what I want to do is build a 20 by 30 building, and it's a pole barn, and I realize that you don't like approving pole barns, and I can understand why. I never liked approving them either. But I think the reason we don't like pole barns is they look like pole barns when they're up. You know, they got like low pitch roofs, somewhere between 4 and a 612 pitch. And then they're totally cladded in metal. I propose I'm not going to look like that. My building will be a 20 by 30. It'll have an 8 to 912 pitch, which is in keeping with a lot of older structures in town, like some of the small barns and carriage houses and that sort of thing. The other thing is that the front of my building, which faces west, will have wood siding on it. It'll be 8 inches wide, and it'll run vertical. Also on the front of that building, which faces west, there'll be 3 doors. My building will have 3 bays in it. There'll be 10 by 20 bays. Each bay will have a door, and the door on the north side and the door on the south side will be a panel door, a wood panel door, and the door in the center will be a door on rollers, and it'll be made out of the same wood that the front will be cladded in wood. The rest of the sides will be metal, and the roof will be metal. In addition to the wood products that I'm putting on in the doors, above the eave, above every door, will be approximately a 3 by 3 window, 6 light window. And so you got 3 across the front. Then in the back, it's the same way. You'll go up, each bay will have a window in the back, and it'll be just under the eave, roughly 3 by 3, and a 6 light sash, all wood.
Okay. Any board members have questions? Clarification?
Can you just walk me through, there was some confusion at the start, or at least I was somewhat confused about property lines were changed or something, so this is now on its own parcel, is that
That's
correct?
right. It's not on its own parcel. It's part of 611, which are 2 log homes that I have there, well, this 1 log home. And that particular building had a very small yard. So the idea, even in the beginning, several years ago, when I had the property divided, was to give 611 more property. So now that's what's happened. We've taken this lot away from 608. It doesn't belong to it at all anymore. So now it belongs to 611 Presbyterian, and all that's been done by the Madison Land Title Company, and the lawyers of Jenner and Patterson wrote all that up. So that's all very legal and very proper.
I'm sure it is, but I'm trying to understand, so are you saying there are other buildings on this lot? In
No,
addition to this is all by itself?
Just a home, a log cabin.
So there's a log cabin that this would be on the same parcel as?
Yes.
Do we have a site plan that shows the relationship of those buildings?
You probably have it in your.
So it's that right there?
Yes, that's it on the left-hand side there. I can go point that out if you,
No, I can see it on the mouse now. Thank you
Okay.
very much, Benna.
yeah.
Thank you.
So
It's a nice structure.
where's the barn gonna go up
The
there?
barn's gonna go in the far corner there on the right there where the little arrow is. And it's got all the proper setbacks and everything that you need on the property line.
When was the zoning changed?
Probably going on almost a month, maybe 3 weeks to a month.
Okay. So I guess that's my concern is, with the 608, that property is on the vacant and abandoned structures list, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so it does kind of come across like it kind of comes across as though maybe the building inspector or someone from the city maybe told you that this probably wouldn't get approved because the house is on the vacant and abandoned structures list. And so it kind of feels like you went and changed it with BZA. I kind of have a hard time
Yeah.
approving this because
Jared, I think we can all read between the lines, but that's not something that I think we can take under consideration at this
I don't
board.
think that's our job. I think this is bigger than us as a board.
well, the thing of it is, it's legal, people can move their properties around and consolidate them to another property.
Yeah, I believe that we can properly hear the application before us and understanding your concerns.
Yeah, and just, I don't think this was ever taken before BZA or Plan Commission or anything like that. The zoning, bigger picture zoning, was not changed. I think what has apparently changed here is the parcels have changed, and one of them has been increased in order to add this, I would call it an accessory building. I think that's what we would, is there a primary structure on the parcel that that what you're proposing would sit?
Yes,
Okay, and it's a log cabin,
yes.
and somebody either,
Yes, people are living in it right now.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. And this would be a accessory building for that
For that
structure?
building, that's right.
So if I'm looking at the map correctly, so this structure is gonna sit in front of the log cabin as far as looking down the street. The facade of the new structure will be closer to the street than the cabin.
Yeah, when they look out their side door, they'll be looking at the wood part, which is why I made that, separate that out.
Well, I'm more concerned about the street frontage.
Well,
So
I have a privacy fence, all the way around my yard in the back. And it goes around the north side of the proposed building, and it'll go around the east side of the proposed building. That's already up.
But the north side of the proposed structure would set pretty close to the street, where the log cabin
Yeah,
sits back
but
from the
but
street.
the setback is what it should be, though, legally.
It is a little hard to evaluate this particular project, and the reason is that I was still under the impression that it was with the other house, so there's a whole different group of guidelines that we probably need to
Yeah, but
consider.
Yeah, but you realize, don't you, that it's not part of that anymore?
Right, I mean, that's what changes it, is now we're looking at one-third setback. Can an accessory structure set in front of a primary structure? There's a whole bunch of stuff that we haven't had an opportunity to even consider in our review of it, so that would be my biggest concern is, I would think for this to work, the structure would have to be way back in the south corner in order to meet
Right
the
now, it's
guidelines.
in the south corner. Right now, it's in the northeast corner.
Yeah. I think it would have to be in the southwest corner to meet the guidelines. But, like I said, we weren't considering it with that property, we were considering it with another property, as part of another
Yeah,
property, so
But all that's
all
been
that's changed.
legally changed.
Well, I don't dispute that, it just
Yeah.
changes our ability to evaluate it. We've had it for a week
I'm
to
just kind of
evaluate.
curious, what's so hard about it to evaluate?
The guidelines, and Sonny, you were on the board for a long time.
That's right.
So you're very aware of the
Right.
guidelines.
I just don't see anything hard about it.
Okay.
I mean, it's all legal and, the property's legal,
Yeah, I don't dispute that.
and then now what you don't like is where I'm putting it.
Personally, I don't like that it's right on the street and it sits in front of the log cabin. As far as the street frontage.
So you think it should be like maybe 20 feet away from the cabin or something like that, or?
Well, I think the guidelines need to be considered, and unfortunately, since it's changed the legal, which parcel it's attached to.
Yeah.
I didn't look at those guidelines to consider it.
Well,
for
let me
this.
ask you this. I mean, the legal, if what you're worried about is the positioning of it, I mean, as long as I'm legal with my setbacks, you know, which are in your guidelines there, as long as I'm within those guidelines, what would be the problem?
Well, there's a number of guidelines that restrict placement of accessory buildings on a lot. And it actually recommends that it's set behind the existing property and out of view. Or if it's next to a property, that it sets back 1/3 minimum. And like I said, I haven't had the benefit of being able to review your project against the guidelines that would be appropriate in this particular situation. I'm not saying that it can't be approved, I'm just saying that the game changed a little bit by changing which house it's associated
Yeah,
with.
well, yeah, it did change. But that's just kind of way you'd have to do things. You're trying to accommodate you.
Yeah.
You didn't like what I had before,
It never
so I
made
took it
sense.
away from a derelict piece of property and put it against a good piece of property.
Yeah, Ryan, I suggest that we review it right now as a board with some guidance from staff and have a deliberation.
Well, let's do one more thing, if you could, please. All right, so is the problem is positioning to you, where it's going to sit, is that right?
Well, from my recollection of the guidelines, I think it may be an issue, but like I said, I haven't reviewed the guidelines based
Yeah.
on this scenario.
Okay, so what about the issue of the pole barn?
I think that the board will deliberate, we'll have those conversations amongst ourselves, and what we determine is and isn't an issue will be clearly communicated in the motion that we make. I don't think it's fair to put one board member on the spot and ask them about their issue. We need to come to a consensus
Right.
as a group
Right.
and talk about this with guidance from
Well,
staff.
I'd like for you, when you go and deliberate amongst you all, you gotta remember that I'm changing it not to look like a pole barn. If I built this out of stick structure, you wouldn't know the difference. I mean, I've been a contractor and a building inspector and everything in my life for over almost 50 years. And if I built a stick structure and I put an 8 or 9/12 pitch on it, and I wrapped 3 sides in metal, one side in wood with all the windows I want to put in it, 9/12 pitch, you cannot tell the difference. So keep that in mind, okay? When you think pole barn, it's not going to look like a pole barn. I would appreciate that.
Would you be willing to table it to?
Say again?
Would you be willing to table this to
Well, I don't
rework
think I
it?
got a choice. I mean, if I go for it right now, they're going to say no.
So
I-
would you like to table it?
Yeah.
The board gets to make that call.
Okay.
And so if he makes that request, then the board can consider that request, or if the board wants to do that.
I would suggest that perhaps we move on to board deliberation and conversation, and then if it looks as though we're heading towards denial, we can offer the applicant the opportunity to table at that time. But I'd like to hear from all the other board members and have a robust discussion led by staff.
Anyone like to comment? I have a concern. I'm wondering, are you going to be restoring your house that's on 3rd Street there?
I can't hardly hear you.
Are you going to be restoring the house that's on 3rd Street?
Well, yes, I've already got a plan worked out with the code inspector, and we have it all written out to where in the next 3 months, I will address the front and the outside of the building over there at 608, and there's just about 3 or 4 things I have to do to bring that up to standard, and then I'm all clear on that. But all that's been legally put in, and he and I worked out a plan, he signed off on it, I signed off on it, so that'll be done in the next 3 months.
So is that the building inspector you're saying that signed off?
Say again?
Is that the building inspector you're saying who has signed off?
No, he's not saying that the building inspector signed off on it, but this is all part of that vacant and abandoned structures ordinance.
Okay.
And so in order to come, you have to come in and basically register your building as a vacant and abandoned structure and then present some type of a plan of abatement.
Anybody else got questions? Let's talk.
Okay, so I'm looking up at your layout there. The log cabin is in the upper left-hand corner, correct? What is directly below it with the X through it?
That,
No, there you go. What is that?
say that again?
What is that? See where the cursor is going around with the
Yeah.
X? What is that?
That's,
Neighbor's house?
that's the house I live in, that's 608.
Okay. And where's the dilapidated house? Right
to
next
the
door?
right of that.
Oh, you live in that house?
No, I live in 608, I'm sorry, I live in 610. To the right of that, where the cursor is 608.
Okay. What's to the right of that? Nice deep lot there.
My neighbor,
Okay. There's a house there?
yes, there is.
Okay.
There's houses, there's two more, no, let's see. There's just one more house, and then there's the corner, John Paul Park.
Okay. I got that. I've been by there a couple of times. In fact, a couple of years ago, just prowling around with the dog, noticed a log cabin back there, and that's a beautiful piece of property.
Thank you.
That's ready to be restored.
Thank
And
you.
I have a concern. Putting a pole barn right now, you put a dent in the value of the log cabin. If you own do you own the log cabin?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's where your money should go, is into that. That's a little gem. A pole barn, I mean, there's commercial use for a pole barn, but I'm not sure that that's the right spot. And I have voted against pole barns in here. I
Sure.
voted for one that I can remember, but I've never voted for another one since, and I still have that same feeling about building a pole barn.
Right.
And and I don't want to use the old farmer thing about how much perfume you put on an animal. It's still a pole barn.
Yeah.
And when that house, that log cabin, on any of the eastern exposures, they look out, they see pole barn. That's the number one thing they see over there, and that is a permanent impediment on the restoration of the log cabin. So that's my observation.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand your feeling there. I do.
All right, are we firmly on to board discussion?
Yes.
So, Brenna, I just was wondering if you could help me just highlight a couple of the relevant guidelines here, specifically the one related to pole barns. Do you have that with you? Or at least the number? I know it's pretty explicit. It just says that pole barns shall not be allowed, I believe is the language. And then I think that there are two others that my colleague, Mr. Rogers, brought up relating to how.
So there's certainly, there's 24.0 new construction outbuildings.
Yep.
It's 24.1. It says the design of new, sorry, I always forget that. 24.1 says the design of new garages and other accessory buildings should be compatible with dwellings in the historic district. New outbuildings should respect and blend with the architectural style and scale of the associated dwelling.
Well, and 24.2 really strikes at the heart of it. Locate detached new garages and outbuildings to the rear of the dwelling or set back from the side elevations. And I will say, I think that this is one of the most elegant pole barns I've ever seen. It's incredibly well designed, and your drawings really prove that Madisonians with knowledge and skill can produce very high-quality architectural drawings, so I commend you on it. My personal feeling, though, is that even if it wasn't a pole barn, I couldn't vote for it based on where it's located on this site relative to the
So
log house.
what's
And-
about it?
Excuse me, this is the board deliberation portion of the meeting. So it doesn't follow the general pattern for outbuildings or any of our guidelines for the location of outbuildings. I don't see how you can build in front of and to the right of a structure like this log cabin. Unfortunately, it seems like they're really stuck between a rock and a hard place, because if you reassociate with the building in the front, that's on the vacant and abandoned buildings list, so that would make further development difficult as well. Again, I think the pole barn guideline is incredibly clear. I think that our 24.0 guidelines for outbuildings, specifically the ones saying that they should be built to the rear, are very, very clear. And I just don't see, we make exceptions from these guidelines sometimes, maybe from one guideline, but when there are this many guidelines that it doesn't comport with, I just don't see, even though it is a very nice pole barn, I don't see a way I can vote for it with how many guidelines it doesn't comport with.
All right, can I ask a question now?
Oh, sorry, that part's over, I believe.
That part's over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jared, any things? Can you think of anything?
I don't want to, make the motion to deny. I want rather, I think we should give you, as we said we would, the opportunity to table it if you want to study it and work with the city a bit more. Again, though, I think the real challenge is going to be looking at how this accessory building that you're proposing relates to the log cabin that it's now on the same parcel as, and to think about this as an addition to that property and know that we're looking for something that would enhance that property rather than detract from it or hurt it. And I think right now where this is cited relative to that log cabin, thinking about them as a singular property, that this would detract from that. And also, I'd look at 24.0 and study those guidelines and see how you could envision a way to get the outbuilding that you want while still complying with them. Again, it's an excellent design. You clearly have a talent and deep knowledge of how to design things like this, so I believe you could probably figure it out. This particular proposal is just, for me, too violative of too many of the guidelines.
Would you like to consider tabling this?
If I table it, then what's the procedure?
We would have you come back next month, and we will talk about it again to see if it comes closer to matching the requirements.
You would also have the opportunity to make adjustments to the application.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So, do I hear any suggestions from the board as to what you'd like to see?
What I would suggest is to return with a presentation that focuses on how this new accessory building complies with 24.0. And the pole barn guideline is a difficult one to overcome because it's so specific, but again, this is an excellent design for a pole barn. I think you're looking at the combination of 24.0 and it being a pole barn that make it impossible to pass. So I encourage you to study and try again, but I do think that it will be an uphill climb given the fact that you're proposing to locate an accessory building to the side rather than the rear of the main structure on this lot.
Okay. Well, it can't go to the rear. That's my yard.
Well, would you like to go ahead and have us vote on tabling it?
Okay, we'll table it.
Could we hear a motion to table Mr. Ash's application?
I move to table Mr. Ash's application.
Your second.
I second that.
Could we have a vote, please?
Chris Cody,
Approve.
Happy Smith, Bill Jewell,
Approve.
Ryan Rogers, Jared Anderson,
Approved.
Jed Skillman.
Approve.
We'll see you next month.
Okay,
Thank you.
we'll see y'all next month.
We'll see you next month.
All
Thank
right.
you for coming. All right, looks to me like we are tabling Michael O'Day.
We will have to make a motion for that one.
All righty. Could we hear a motion?
I move to table 803 Fillmore Alley.
And I'll second it. We have a vote, please.
Chris Cody,
Approve.
Happy Smith, Bill Jewell,
Approve.
Ryan Rogers, Jared Anderson,
Approved.
Jed Skillman.
Approve.
All right. And so we're tabling on that one. The next one is Ryan Rogers, 215 West First Street. And Ryan will obviously be recusing himself from voting on this.
Yes, I'll be recusing myself. Ryan Rogers, 804 East First Street.
All right, Brenna?
Right, so 215 West First, this is an empty lot. It is zoned Historic District Residential, and this request is to build a duplex on the lot, and it is a different design from the last one we saw.
Ryan?
Is a new design. I simplified it, made it look like every other house in Madison. and put the garage back to meet the setback requirement. So I'm not sure, I think I got it so it covers all the bases, but the nice thing about the board is there's a lot of different opinions, so.
Anybody have questions for Brian? Right. Questions?
Big improvement over the last time.
Yeah.
I noticed it on the east elevation of it, you don't have any windows over there. That's, that's east?
Yeah, so if you look at the alley there,
Uh-huh.
the other property that I own, there's no windows on that either.
Okay.
So there's no benefit really to having a window there, even for aesthetics, because you wouldn't see it unless you were looking straight down the alley.
Oh, I was just spent 4 happy years in an apartment that with a one window that looked out over the kitchen sink into a brick wall about 6 feet away, and it was always pretty to look out there and just watch the light shift over the on the brick. So there could be more value to a window. Just throwing it out there.
Well, if you look at the rear wall design, they're very, very large windows, and the reason is the whole house is oriented to the backyard.
Okay.
Yeah, those windows are set at an 8-foot head height, and they come down to 18 inches from the floor. And the reason for that is being able to sit on the couch and look out the window and see outside.
The river.
Yeah, so the whole design of the house is really oriented to that exterior rear view.
I had 2 small questions or suggestions upon reviewing it, and thank you. This is a dramatic improvement over the last one in terms of passability for the board. Brady, can you go to the front elevation? I just noticed that the rendering, go to the rendering. I noticed that above the garage, the window hoods were really tight up against that eave, up against that gutter right there, and was wondering if there was any way to give them a little bit of breathing room as you go to final construction drawings. And I also noticed that your main interior circulation, that stair right there, the wall might benefit just from a thin clerestory window, something along that right there exactly. I think this is right on the stairwell. That might throw some nice light into the stairwell. I hear what you're saying about the orientation of the river. That's just, again, 2 super minor little things that might be the product of how the rendering came out more than any design intent that I just wanted to point out and suggest.
I like the idea of a small ribbon window there on the side. I was trying to stay away from more contemporary effects, but I think that would probably work. The window location, so I've never used AI rendering, so I found this program that I'm working with, and it takes my drawings and gets them close. As you can tell, it gives you an idea, but it looks like it's sitting in the country instead of, in the middle of the city. So there will be some additional freeze boards and so forth that are included in the detail of the siding, and that crown will actually tie into the soffit on it. Okay. So there's a detail that I couldn't draw to give you the perspective on it. But I'll make it look good.
Okay.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Anybody else from the board? Do we have any participation from the general public? Anyone come to speak? No? Anything? Oh, here we go.
Tony Steinhardt, 213 West 2nd, 206 West 1st, and 221 West 1st, the 3 properties that border this. Ryan's done a nice job with elevating the design to a more fitting neighborhood approach, and I appreciate the setback. I just still contend to have an issue with the garage off First Street. Hopefully he takes care of the brick gutter. It's one of the last brick gutters in the city, and I know it exists there, so we certainly would hopefully get that accomplished, but this is a much more respectful design to the neighborhood, in my opinion. I just still, with the alley access, question the garage when there hadn't been one on that site ever. So that house that was originally there was built in the 1860s, I think, so there hadn't been a driveway with the alley access. I think that's the only thing that I would say I'm not happy with, but overall, it's a much better approach.
Great. Thanks for coming, Tony.
Can I have a question now?
Sure.
The curbs there are original limestone type curbs, right?
No, there is no curb. It's asphalt that goes straight
Right in?
into the ditch. Now, there is a brick ditch that goes from next to my lot to the end.
Okay.
More than likely, it's underneath of it, underneath the front edge of my lot.
Yeah.
There has been some trees planted there and so forth, so we don't really know what we're gonna find. I was kind of saving this until I put in the submission to do a curb cut, even though there's not a curb there. I'm gonna have to get permission from the city to go onto the lot. So I've already talked to Rod Kiefer about the culvert that'll need to go across, and we're also gonna redo the brick ditch as part of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
good,
So,
good.
kind of let the cat out of the bag on you, but, I knew that may also be an
Okay.
issue later.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be beautiful when that part of it's done.
Anyone
That
else?
was my question.
Well, sound like we feel pretty positive about this. Do we hear a motion to accept?
Yeah, I definitely take note of the comment from the public that garages are not ideal fronting our urban streets, but I think that this complies with all of our rules, and there's certainly a lot of precedent for side garages with this kind of a setback from the main facade throughout the district. I believe that this project complies with the guidelines, and I'm prepared to make a motion to approve it.
Go ahead, please.
It's a motion to approve the application for 215 West First Street.
Do we hear a second?
I'll second.
How about a vote, please?
Chris Cody?
Approve.
Happy Smith?
Approve.
Bill Jewell?
Approve.
Jared Anderson?
Approve.
Jed Skillman?
Approve.
I think you've passed. Thank you. All right, that takes care of all the applications for tonight. I understand in new business that we have information about the Dilapidated Structures Act.
Yes, we had a request to just kind of go over what this vacant and abandoned structures ordinance is about. So Dewey will
Good deal.
be doing that for us.
Dewey, thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting me. I think we all know each other, right?
Yeah, I
My,
think so.
my bell ringing buddy there. And Bill and I know each other from restaurants and
Anywhere and
different
everywhere
places.
around here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a presentation I actually gave beginning of the year. I think it is on a quarterly basis. The ordinance requires that I report to Board of Public Works some particulars. And we'll just go through a few data slides, and then primarily I have pictures for you, and any questions, of course, I'm happy to answer. When I came on board 5 years ago, we started with a universe of about 185 structures that, at that time, prior to this ordinance, we were considered, the only thing we could consider them is unsafe, based on the UBL, the Uniform Building Law. Since that time, since this ordinance came into place, many of those have been abated, or, they've moved to this now vacant and abandoned ordinance that we have. So currently, we have 46, and that's the total that I currently have on the list, 46 vacant and abandoned structures. All those property owners have been given notice that we have made a determination, we, the building inspector and I, made a determination that the building is either vacant and or abandoned. Of those, just one has paid their registration fee, but 14 of them have actually voluntarily registered, and that says that we can waive the registration fee, okay? There is a secondary letter that goes out if I have no response from the initial correspondence. All of those have been sent out as well. As I mentioned, 46 cases have been opened, 14 voluntarily, 32 that we've registered, and we have 2 cases that are actually challenging our determination, which will be heard 2 weeks from tomorrow. 2 weeks from tomorrow at Board of Public Works. They'll challenge. So This is just a spreadsheet that I work off of. Green is good, either registered or paid the fee, got a plan together, those types of things. Red, not so good. So I don't have all of it there, so it looks like it's 50-50 really, but as you saw, it's not quite that. Brenna?
Are you feeling like there's any kind of a change in people's attitude towards these properties?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it may not, we'll go through some here. We talk about velocity, if that's the right word, but yeah, I sent, there's people putting homes up for sale because they don't want to deal with them, I guess. Somebody
okay.
else will, but there's been 2, 3, 4, half a dozen that have had work done to them that are now meeting the standards that we're seeking with this ordinance. So, yeah, I do believe there is momentum, let's say that.
Good.
Okay?
It's got to take a little while to get going.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a year, I believe it was passed in April of 2005, maybe May. So we got off to a slow start, but it's a massive, there are so many steps involved, so many inspections, so many different things. Not an excuse, but we didn't start to snowball probably till September, October, November.
Good.
So, here's one of the first ones. This is at the corner of Jefferson and Third there across from Butler Family Dentistry. The left picture is the before, and what Bill did there on the right-hand side. There still is some unsafe things behind the building, but we'll take care of those as time goes on.
Folks, as you go through these, can you let us know if they're being compliant or working with you? I mean, that was one of my favorite buildings right there in Jefferson, is that the owner's working with you, things are going to head in the right direction.
Yep. He's the first one to get a letter, and he's the first one to comply, and there it is, yeah.
Great.
Yes, I'll make sure and do that. Okay, next one. This is near the other dentist, I forget the dentist's name there, 2nd Street and Walnut, across from the chiropractor.
This is the one we just saw an application for the second floor deck and dormer windows.
Yes, that's right. You can see on the left-hand side, there was a massive hole in the roof. I understand there's quite a bit of water damage and different things that have happened there. So we talk about progress. This owner has registered, has started an abatement plan, and we've accepted that. This is down on, by the power station, 800 block of 2nd Street, right before Vernon Street, maybe? I forget what the intersection is there, but the left-hand side you can see was quite beat up. This owner is out of city, lives in the Indianapolis area. They have registered and are compliant. They've done some painting. So yes, it's still vacant, but they have registered. This is the 900 block of Walnut Street, just before you get to, if you were headed north on Walnut, 421. This owner has registered as well. A plan is in place. But yeah, we have some work to do at that location. This is the foot of Broadway, 600 block of Broadway, right near the new park down there. We have had no contact with these owners in a couple of years. We've had numerous nuisance cases here. So, yeah, the third part of all this is the notice of lien that you haven't paid, you haven't contacted us, you haven't tried to abate, you haven't paid the registration fee, so now some of these are getting notice of liens that we're going to be putting on the properties.
That one had a for sale sign in front of it here a month or so ago, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was a handwritten thing
Yeah.
that, I don't know the validity of that. Maybe it was by owner, I guess. I don't know, but,
Maybe one of the neighbors.
what's that?
Maybe one of the neighbors did it.
Perhaps. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened. Again, this owner used to be living there, but now they're out of state.
And
As
then
far
you
as-
contact them by tax address? The
Yes,
address for the
that's
taxes?
required per the ordinance. Whatever's on the tax records is where I have to send the notifications, which is a Louisville address, or Union, Kentucky address, I think it is. Broadway and Third Street, this is one of the challenges that we will be hearing in a couple of weeks to the vacant and abandoned determination.
Can you describe for the board what happens in that challenge scenario?
Sure, Joe would have to leave just when I'm going to answer some legal questions.
Well, I'm specifically getting, well, I can discuss this later. I think that this is a very important building for Madison. This is one of the ones that I've heard anecdotally more people concerned about in terms of residential structures than any others. And I sure would love to find the opportunity to speak about the preservation importance of saving this building in connection with any challenge against your enforcement.
Sure. Well, essentially, it's a trial, right? If, for lack of a better term, we're going to present our findings and evidence. The owner will present their findings and evidence, and the board will either support our findings or theirs, and then we'll move on from there.
The decision.
And when is that meeting date again?
That's Board of Public Works. We're off. President's Day is the 16th,
Okay.
perhaps. Tuesday, the 17th.
But it's just the next BZA meeting.
Board of Public Works meeting.
Board of
Yes.
Public Works. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this building will be up on February 17th,
And
Yes.
that meeting is at 11:30.
11:30.
And the owner is contesting that it's not vacant and abandoned?
Yes.
Do you see people living in it?
No.
Oh.
No. The previous building inspector and I went inside. Interesting structure. I mean, I'm not a builder or a visionary, those types of things. I rely on Shaw to do those types of things, but no, there's no one living there. I don't think there's been water there 10, 12 years, which is one of the determinants we look at. It's just one of the criteria we look at. Is there electricity, water, that type of stuff? And I don't believe there's been, I may be off a few years, but it's been 5+.
Brenna, I'd like to do something a little bit unconventional. We're still in the new business portion of our meeting, correct? I would like to make a motion from the Historic District Board of Review expressing our support, and Brenna, I'll dictate this to you, expressing our support for the city's enforcement efforts at this property, and stating that in our opinion, it is necessary for the continued preservation of this structure for this enforcement action to occur.
Second.
Can we have a vote?
1 second. Let me make sure I have this right. So this is a motion a motion for the HDBR to support,
The city's enforcement actions at, forget the address, what's the address?
420 Broadway.
At 420 Broadway. And we opine that such actions are necessary for the continued preservation of this structure. And this is not part of the motion, but I'll just add that this building is not in good condition, and if it's left in the current condition, whether the owner wants to call it vacant or not, for another decade or two, we likely won't be there. And that's why I think it's important for this board to express our opinion as the voice for historic preservation in this community.
This would be demolition by neglect.
Precisely.
so,
And then we have by second, so you got a second, and we can call for a vote.
so this is a motion for the HDBR to support the city's enforcement actions at 420 Broadway, and to express your agreement that these actions are necessary for the continued preservation of the structure.
I don't think it's agreement. I think we are opining independently in our role as the voice of historic preservation in this community. And I'd like that motion to be delivered to the board that's deliberating this matter.
All right.
Do we hear a second?
Yes.
Jed, thank you. How about a vote?
Chris Cody,
Approve.
Happy Smith. Bill Jewell,
Approve.
Brian Rogers. Jared Anderson,
Approve.
Jed Skillman.
Approve.
Sorry to interrupt you, Dewey, but that one touched a nerve.
So what else you got?
Most of the work I do in this role touches nerves with people, I can promise you, in one way or the other. Okay, this is not this is just an unsafe structure, but it is, one time I apparently was inhabited, but this is up near the Marathon on Craigmont and State. What is the, Jazzy?
Next to that, the handyman thing, we can do it, isn't that one?
No.
Can do maintenance? No?
No. I'm standing, taking that picture. State Street is in the back, headed towards Shaw Memorial.
Oh, okay.
And so to the left of me would be the intersection of State and Craigmont, headed north to, Clifty Drive.
Right.
This would be on the right-hand side, across from, what is that, manufacturing? Yes, yep.
Royer?
Yeah. There are a couple there, and I think I should have mentioned at the beginning, I don't have all the structures here, but most of them are here. By the way, that one is not compliant. He said he would be compliant, but he is not. Also out of Jefferson County, not here locally. This is on McIntyre Street. If you're headed west on Main, just over the bridge by the Heritage Trail, right?
Yeah.
Is McIntyre Street. So this would be on your left-hand side. This property owner has registered, is being compliant, has a plan in place. This is Mr. Ash's residence. He is correct. He has registered. He does have a plan in place, and it is to be completed by April. Yes.
Okay.
This is on Jefferson Street. It just doesn't quite meet the standards. You can't quite see the far left pillar there is collapsing. Can't quite see it, but it's collapsing to the left, and then it doesn't meet the standards on the outside. Again, no water in some time. This is Jefferson Street, the dead end on the north or the west side of 421, right? Again, not compliant, not any contact with us. This is probably the worst picture I've taken of one of them, and I apologize. This is West 2nd Street, down across from the water treatment plant. Again, no contact with us, not compliant, hasn't registered. Yeah. Little surprising here, this is in the Oak Hill neighborhood on the hilltop, on a cul-de-sac. Probably a year and a half now that it's been vacant. No water, not compliant. The property address of record is there, so I'm not sure what's happening. Clifty Drive up to the west, I would say, of Britt Clinic there, on the left-hand side, right next to Britt, quite honestly. Again, not the best picture, but it doesn't meet standards. This property owner is compliant, has registered, so she has a plan together. Another one near this is the second challenge, saying that this is not vacant or abandoned. This is on Craigmont, just before the the one that we looked at a little bit ago. They have challenged, but that's all the contact we've had with them. Third one on Craigmont Street, again, doesn't meet standards at all, no water, no contact with us, no registration. Back to Jefferson Street, a couple here on, the first one was to the north as you go into Jefferson Street on the dead end. This are the 2 or 3 structures to the south of the bridge, or the opening in there. Again, you can see it doesn't come up to standards. No one living there in some time. This is a couple of houses to the north of that, same thing. Open to you can see the right-hand picture open to the elements, and but this owner, both of those houses, has registered and is getting a plan together.
Good.
So, this is Elm Street. I understand there's change of ownership here, so I'm not sure where we're at yet on that. The previous owner had registered with us and had a had a plan together, but there's been change of ownership, so we will go down that path and see where we go from here. Right next door, same situation, although this property has come up to standards now, painting, and so we're happy about that. This is another one right next to, so the 1134 West 2nd, I think this is 1132, if I'm not mistaken, same owner as 1134. You can see the roof. No compliance, no contact with us, nothing. This is sad. This is probably the saddest one to me. This is right over here on Poplar Street, and when I first got here, I said, I'm going to buy that place. And Nicole, our previous, she said, no, you're not, Dewey. And I said, oh, okay. But it's much like the Broadway property, right? It's visible, but again, no compliance, lives right across the river as far as we know. In Milton, never heard from this owner in the 5 years that I've been here. Wow. Yeah.
We've looked at that and I've thought, well, I could talk my brother into buying that,
Yeah.
doing a project like that, but you can see there's a lot of money that's like starting all over there.
Is that listed as a dangerous building?
That's a good question. It could be on the unsafe list.
Because I also looked at it 10 years ago, and the walls were so bowed in it that it's scary.
We had the neighbor here, we did have Rick, that was previous building inspector, and there was brick falling into their fenced-in patio area. We did have that issue, and then there was some issue on the back as well. But let me make a note of that. I need to look for anyway, I know the Poplar Street address. I want to look at if we have an unsafe case. I'm not sure that we do.
That one's dangerous.
Yeah, it's a 3-bay front, it's got a lot.
Yeah, it's sad. This is probably the second worst picture I took, but there's no, this is on Park Avenue as you head out of town going towards Brooksburg. It's up on the left-hand side, if you know where I believe it's Mingione did some work, the Mingiones did some work. This is directly across the street from that, up on the hillside. The owner has registered, does have a plan together, but there's just no way to get a good picture of that because I'd be standing in the middle of State Road, 56? Don't want to get hit. So, but yeah, they're complying. West 3rd Street, 700 block, not complying, doesn't meet standards. So, yeah. This is an unsafe structure as well as on the vacant and abandoned. Numerous nuisance cases here, no water in decades. The backside of that towards the hill is, completely blown out, basically. So this would be at Allenbach and East. If you were to turn to head up Telegraph Hill, that would be on your left-hand side. This is the Humes property, 709 Elm Street. I meant to blow that picture up. Sorry about that.
Is this the one with the big hole in the side of the building on the right side?
Among others, yes, sir. Yeah. Has there been ownership change here, too?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, within the last 2 years, the same owners have it, and there are plans to demolish this house. It's too far gone
Yeah.
for it to be restored.
It is bad.
Well, that's blurry, too, isn't it? This is on Flint Street, so if you're headed towards, I've used Britt Clinic quite a bit. If you're headed towards Britt, there's the Imperial Pool place, right? So the street just to the east of that is Flint Street that goes along the park, and it's a dead end back there. But this is, we believe the owner is deceased. Again, no water in decades, no contact from them, no registration. Another sad property, I think. This is 502 East Street at the corner of 3rd and East, right, by the church. Elderly couple, we've been in contact with them. They're trying to obtain a contractor to do some of the work. They've been having difficulty doing that. So I have continued to try and work with them. They have not voluntarily registered. They have been sent the notice of lien at this point. But again, that block has come along quite a bit. You can see the structure next to it there was redid, so.
I actually saw the owner out there at that structure here about 4 months ago. He was cutting some grass, that kind of thing, kind of cleaning up a little bit, and asked him then, would you like to sell? And he said, no, I need it.
Yeah. No, I've never had a nuisance case here, right? There's not a lot of grass or, too much, just that little side, that little yard there, but yeah, it's just decayed paint chipping. The north side has got quite a bit of work that needs to be done, windows and stuff like that, so. Non-compliant. These folks, this has changed ownership too, since this has been an unsafe structure for us for 4.5, 5 years. This would be just south of Main Street on Craigmont. On the
We
right.
had him, I think we had him in front of us, last month?
Last month.
On this one?
Yep, I think, is there a pace?
And we okayed that.
Yes, they did also just get approved for a dilapidated structures grant through PACE.
So, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Almost there, fellas,
I
almost
also
there.
believe that they say that they intend to live here when they're finished.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah, this is on the hilltop. This is Hendrick Street, which Mauser and Ross maybe comes off of there. Numerous nuisance cases, no water. Folks were living in there. We did get it sealed up, but we've never. The previous building inspector and I, and maybe Brian and I, met with the daughter. The folks are deceased, long deceased. And the daughter lives in Hanover, I believe. So we met with her, and her intention was to just demo it. But that was 2.5 years ago, and we haven't heard anything from them since. So, again, that wasn't all, but that's the bulk of them right there. Yes, sir.
Just out of curiosity, find out if a house is on your list. It's on Main Street. I think it's at Vine. On the corner of Main and Vine. It's a huge Victorian double with the chimney in the back that's collapsed into the roof and all that.
It's not on the vacant or abandoned, as my understanding is the owner actually lives there.
Yeah.
And has rental units, second, third floor perhaps. So if there's habitation, it can't be on this particular list. Is it unsafe?
The house looks solid. It's just that it's another one. They're just letting it, if you let a chimney fall in, and that's like been a couple of years, because I noticed it then.
Sure.
And it's a pretty good sized chimney. So it's got to have damaged the roof, and that means water's getting in. And
Sure.
like that.
No, and that owner has a couple that, one of them's is not in this presentation, so, I do have conversations with her, but, that one is not on any, other than maybe a nuisance case here and
Yeah.
there. I agree, we should have the building inspector probably look at that chimney again. I thought we addressed that. You may have been the one that brought it to my attention.
About a year ago,
Okay,
I sent a picture of it.
okay. We'll address that again, so.
Well, Dewey, it sounds like we're making some progress here with this. I know it's in spurts and that kind of thing, but at least it sounds like we're going down the right road.
We are, yes.
Yeah, I really want to thank you both for coming here and giving us this wonderful presentation, and also just for all the work that you're doing. It sounds like there are so many of these properties that it's like a backlog of really awful offenders that have been vacant for years and years and years that you're tackling right now. And, it's great to see some of these really buildings that are clearly nuisances that if I was a teenager, I'd probably be breaking into doing all kinds of bad things. Like, get them out of our community. Thank you very much. And I know that, I expect that as this very successful ordinance continues year after year, the work of our board and this program will intersect more and more once you've cleared out a lot of these more egregious offenders, and we can start focusing on vacant buildings downtown that maybe aren't as in dire need and as in terrible neglect. But again, I really appreciate your coming and giving this presentation. Like, I don't want to speak for the whole board, but I personally just wholeheartedly support your work. I think you deserve a lot of credit for it, and credit in public spaces like this. The city deserves a lot of credit. This administration deserves a lot of credit for going after this serious problem. And I hope that this won't be the last time we get to hear about the great work that you're doing. Maybe, at the end of the year, maybe next year or something. I don't want to give you more work because you got plenty. We just saw the slideshow, and we don't need to take you away from that. But it's great to hear about all this wonderful work and give you the credit that we can and do what we can to support you in what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dewey.
No, I'm
Anything
happy,
else?
you're welcome. I'm happy to come as often as you want.
Good deal.
Not a problem at all.
Thank you for coming.
You're very welcome. Good seeing you all.
All right. Any other new business? Board members? Yes, I hear you, Happy. Go ahead.
Just another piece of new business. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, just barely.
Okay. So I just want to congratulate the city additionally on the recent Paul Brune grants that were awarded to 6 owner-occupied properties in Madison. The city of Madison secured this grant, more than $300,000, and they successfully followed the process through and worked with homeowners, and these are going to be very high-quality preservation projects in Madison, going to be examples for all of us. It's a wonderful thing that the city has done. I just wanted to acknowledge that the city has really done a wonderful thing here. Thank you.
Thanks, Happy.
So I can speak to that. I oversee that now.
Yay, Brenna, good job.
So I'm working with National Park Service on that, and our goal is to hopefully have all 6 projects done by the end of April. So,
All right,
Here's
good
hoping.
deal. All right.
Well
Any
done.
other new business?
all right. And then is there any
Any other new
anything
business?
else from you guys?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Actually,
Oh,
I thought-
Staff report.
staff report real quick.
There we go.
Okay, so for sorry, this is meant to say January. So for January, we only have one so far. or total, I guess, January's over. So this was for 611B Mulberry Street. This did actually just receive a PACE grant as well. So they will be working on windows, doors, and reopening the windows to the original size windows and doors, because several of them were bricked up. And then on our annual review, we only had 2, so I guess January is a pretty slow month. Of those 2, one is finished, the storm windows at 518 Jefferson, and then 515 Jefferson, the windows there, that's in progress. That's an accessory structure in the alley.
All righty. Anything else? Do we hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Vote. All in favor? Aye.
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 Our next meeting will be February 23rd at 5:30. We welcome you to come.